Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are exploring a massive, living, breathing engine of economic diplomacy and operational mastery. We're taking a close look at the Lahore International Expo Centre, which has firmly established itself over the past decade as Pakistan's absolute premier stage for global trade. Think of it as this incredible intersection where heavy engineering meets high-stakes commerce. So you might be wondering, how exactly does a 400-canal plot of empty land, that's roughly 50 acres of massive real estate, by the way, transform into the beating heart of a nation's global commerce? Okay, let's dive into this, because the answer isn't just about pouring concrete and erecting steel structures. It's about building an entire, highly adaptive ecosystem specifically designed to connect local industries with the international stage, all in real time. Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First, we'll hit the genesis and grand design. Then we'll look inside the dual-phase machine. From there, we map out the corporate operational ecosystem, move into powering trade and community, and wrap up with the crisis pivot and green future. Let's get into it. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the genesis and grand design. We're looking at how they built the literal skeleton of this global hub. Picture this. It's the early 2000s, and Pakistani exporters are facing a massive roadblock. They completely lacked a unified international standard corporate stage. Local manufacturers were awkwardly relying on fragmented local venues or hotel boardrooms to showcase their heavy goods to foreign trade delegations. It was super inefficient. So in 2002, the federal and provincial governments signed a historic MOU to finally fix this. By 2004, a massive land lease was approved in Johar Town, Lahore. Construction officially broke ground in 2007, and then in just 3 short years, which is absolutely lightning speed for a state project of this magnitude, this mega facility was built and officially opened for operations in 2010. The sheer scale of what they built here is honestly staggering. We're talking about a 50,000 square meter complex designed by the heavy engineering experts at NESPAC, working right alongside the iconic architect Nair Al-Adada. They absolutely nailed this balance of sheer industrial muscle and clean modernist aesthetics. The exhibition wing, it's not just a big room. It features specialized heavy-load flooring and underground utility channels that are engineered to literally hold massive, fully functioning manufacturing plants indoors. Then there's the convention wing, complete with high-profile acoustic auditoriums and summit rooms perfectly suited for state-level trade signings. And to top it off, an immense open event area, large enough to host temporary automotive test tracks in massive cultural carnivals. Just incredible. Moving on to Section 2, inside the dual-phase machine, let's check out the nervous system of their event operations. Now, here is the really fascinating part. This facility operates on a dual-phase model. It basically lives 2 completely separate lives, kind of like a corporate Dr. Jekyll and an adrenaline-fueled Mr. Hyde. During the booking phase, it's your standard 9-to-5 corporate vibe. It's quiet, it's data-driven, and it centers entirely on business-to-business client negotiations, vetting future vendors, and meticulous floor planning. But the absolute second a major event setup starts, it flips into the event phase. We are talking 24/7, kinetic shift work. It becomes this highly energized environment of rapid floor fabrication, safely rigging incredibly heavy machinery, and managing massive crowd control in real time. It's a remarkable operational pivot, and they pull it off week after week. All right, Section 3, the corporate operational ecosystem. How exactly do you run a 400-canal enterprise? Look, to run a machine this complex, you absolutely need top-tier talent. No way around it. But as a state-owned enterprise, they had to break out of the usual slow-moving bureaucratic box. So, enter the Management Staff Pay Scales, or MSPS. Instead of relying on rigid government basic pay scales, the Expo Center leverages a market-driven corporate tier system. This is a real game changer because it lets them operate just like a highly competitive multinational corporation. They can offer competitive salaries, performance increments, and bonuses to attract and retain the highly specialized engineers, software technicians, and executive managers that are actually required to keep a place like this humming. And that talent is spread across 7 highly specialized internal divisions that basically act as the vital organs of a small city. You've got projects and event management handling the creative client loops and allocating those massive floor spaces, while engineering and infrastructure does the literal heavy lifting, from structural load integrity to operating industrial HVAC plants. On the digital side, IT and MIS control runs the campus-wide SAP software systems and high-density Wi-Fi grids. Behind the scenes, HR, finance, and legal are making sure every single operation is strictly compliant with state laws and ministry mandates. And to secure the whole shebang, a dedicated security and surveillance division that maintains an extensive CCTV grid linked straight into the Punjab Safe Cities Authority. It literally takes an entire corporate city to keep this venue flawless. So how do they take all these moving parts and prevent a total bureaucratic nightmare? It boils down to a seamless workflow broken into 3 tight steps. Step 1 is open tendering. Every physical upgrade or vendor selection goes strictly through transparent public procurement rules. Step 2 is where it gets highly technical. Custom layout approvals. Organizers don't just rent an empty hall. Internal teams draft custom blueprints that undergo rigorous health, safety, and environment audits, preventing overcrowding and mapping clear fire exits. And finally, Step 3, event execution. This is managed through localized control rooms using live digital software to monitor automated power loads and access gates in real time. It is seriously impressive. Which brings us to Section 4, powering trade and community. Let's look at the real muscle here, its economic and cultural impact. And this brilliantly illustrates just how versatile this venue really is. It isn't just boxed into serving one niche industry. It powers the entire regional economy and culture. On the trade and corporate side, it hosts massive events like the Pakistan Mega Leather Show, bringing huge corporate buyers from Europe and China right to the doorsteps of local tanneries. For technology, ITCN Asia transforms these halls into a dynamic hub for AI leadership and startup ecosystems. But, it's not all just suits and B2B deals. Culturally, events like the Lahore International Book Fair draw hundreds of thousands of everyday visitors every single winter, making a profound impact on local literacy, publishing, and community integration. This real-world impact really hits the nail on the head regarding a vision shared by S.M. Anir, the chief executive of the Trade Development Authority of Pakistan. During the opening of a major event, he stated, "Pakistani exporters have great potential and capability to compete in the international markets." And that's exactly what this facility does. It provides the literal physical infrastructure needed to turn that abstract potential into actual, signed global export contracts. It puts the buyers and the sellers in the exact same room. And finally, Section 5, Crisis Pivot and Green Future. Let's talk about evolution, adaptability, and what tomorrow looks like. I want you to consider the number 1,000. Back in the spring of 2020, as the COVID-19 pandemic began deeply straining regional healthcare networks, the Expo Center proved it was far more than just a commercial asset. It became a vital public lifeline. Within just a matter of days, the government temporarily repurposed those wide-open exhibition halls, transforming them into a massive 1,000-bed isolation and field hospital. Complete with independent oxygen supply networks and segregated medical quarters. It handled the city's patient overflow until standard hospitals could stabilize. I mean, what a stunning example of raw structural and operational adaptability when a community really needs it most. But looking forward into 2025 and 2026, the facility isn't resting on its laurels. It's undergoing a massive green and digital evolution. To align with global sustainability standards, they are aggressively implementing an official net zero transition plan, shifting their massive energy needs away from the local grid and onto modern solar infrastructure. On the administrative side, legacy systems are being swapped out for paperless e-office environments, while physical logistics are being optimized by advanced AI-driven tracking. They're even stepping directly into education, hosting specialized regional training like AI leadership activation sessions to modernize corporate management practices for the future. So, what does this all mean? Which brings us to a final, provocative thought to leave you with today. As this massive 400-canal machine transitions fully to green energy and embraces highly advanced AI-driven logistics, how will the Lahore Expo Center shape the next decade of global trade? The infrastructure is continuously evolving, the corporate ecosystem is clearly thriving, and its impact on the economy is undeniable. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity about the hidden logistical engines that drive our world. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.